Zdravo! Kako ste? In this video, we are going to talk about different ways in which we measure food and drinks. And when I say measure food and drinks, I don't only refer to grams, kilograms, liters, and so on, but also to different ways in which we split the food into parts, so to say. For example, a slice of bread, a cup of coffee, a piece of cake, and so on. Because we are going to talk about expressions of quantity, we are also revising genitive case in this video. So we will revise the way we decline adjectives and nouns in genitive. At the end of the video, there is a little surprise, so make sure you watch till the end. So let's start with bread, hleb. In Serbian we say vekna hleba, a loaf of bread. Or we say parče hleba, a slice of bread. And finally, dva parčeta hleba, two slices of bread. So you can see that the noun hleb looks a little bit different in the examples here. It has that ending a, hleba. This is because this is genitive form of this noun, genitive singular form of the noun hleb. We use genitive to express quantity, so when we speak of a loaf, a slice of something, or two slices of something, we are using genitive case. Also, after the number 2, which we have in this example here, we use genitive as well. So you can see that the noun parče is a neuter noun and its ending in genitive singular is also a. But this noun gets the infix t as well when it changes through cases in singular. Parče, parčeta. I'm sure you've heard of the noun dete, a child, and we say dva deteta. This noun is also neuter and it also gets this infix t. Or for example, drvo, a tree, dva drveta. So drvo, parče, dete are all neuter nouns which in singular, when they change through cases, get this infix t. We measure liquid foods such as supe, soups, and čorbe, chowders, in the following way. We say tanjir supe or tanjir čorbe, a plate of soup or a plate of chowder. Činija supe ili činija čorbe, a bowl of soup or a bowl of chowder. And finally, lonac supe ili lonac čorbe. Lonac is a pot of soup or chowder. Notice how the ending here is e. Remember when we were speaking about bread that the ending in genitive singular was a, but supa ili čorba are feminine nouns and the ending for feminine singular nouns is e. Now let's talk about drinks, pića. One drink, piće. Drinks, pića. This is a neuter noun and in nominative plural it has the ending a. So how do we usually kind of measure drinks or serve drinks? Čaša, čaša is a glass, so we say čaša vode, a glass of water. Šolja ili šoljica čaja, a cup of tea. Now there is a difference between šolja and šoljica. Šoljica is diminutive form of the noun šolja, and this ica ending that you see here is typical for diminutives in Serbian. So šoljica would be a small cup, for example, the one in which you drink espresso or coffee. So you would say šoljica kafe, šoljica espresso. But šolja is more similar to English word mug. So it's a mug of tea, šolja čaja. And finally, we also have flaša. Flaša is a bottle. Flaša vina, a bottle of wine. Vino is a neuter noun and you can see that the ending in genitive singular is a, same as for masculine nouns. So the good news about genitive is that it has the same endings in singular and plural for both masculine and neuter nouns. We also need the words for measurements when we cook. So in recipes, you would usually have instructions that contain measurements. So here I use the example of šećer, sugar, and provided different ways in which we can measure the quantity of sugar. Na primer, for example, kašika šećera, a tablespoon of sugar. Kašika is a bigger spoon, a tablespoon. We also have kašičica, to je mala kašika, or a teaspoon. Kašičica šećera. You will notice this ending ica again for diminutive form, as we said. So kašika, big spoon, kašičica, small spoon. Pakovanje šećera is a package of sugar. Kesica šećera, it's a small bag of sugar, the one that you usually get in coffee shops. And again, notice the ending ica for diminutive form. Kesica. Kesa is a bag, for example, a plastic bag that you get when you go grocery shopping. But kesica, to je mala kesa. And finally, we have kocka šećera, which is a cube of sugar. So, while we are on the topic of something sweet, let's talk about desserts. Dessert in Serbian is a dessert. So, how do we measure different types of desserts? For example, we say kugla sladoleda, it's a scoop of ice cream. Kocka čokolade, cube of chocolate. Štangla čokolade, it's a row of chocolate in a chocolate bar. And zalogaj kolača, it's a bite of a cookie. And what's interesting about the words that we have on this slide is that two words actually come from German language, and in Serbian we have lots of words of German origin. So if you've studied German or you are a German speaker, you shouldn't be surprised to find many similarities between some words. This is because of our history and the fact that northern part of Serbia, which is the province of Vojvodina right now, has been under the Austro-Hungarian Empire, has been part of the Austro-Hungarian Empire, and this is the influence that we can see in our language. So the word kugla is in German die Kugel, which is the ball, and the word Stangla is from the German word die Stange, which is a pole. Now let's talk about measurements. Measurement in Serbian is mera. The plural of this noun is mere, measurements. And these words are very similar to English words because these are international words. So you would recognize this word. Gram is 1 gram. And for example, we can say čokolada ima 100 grama. The chocolate has 100 grams. Kilogram is 1 kilo. Kofer ima 15 kilograma. The suitcase has 15 kilos. Milliliter is a milliliter. So for example, we can say pola čaše ima 120 millilitera. Half a cup is 120 milliliters. Liter is 1 liter. Ova flaša ima 1 liter. This bottle has 1 liter. And here I just wanted to provide genitive forms after certain numbers and also after the expression half of. So for example, if you want to say half a kilo, you would say pola kilograma. So the word kilogram in this case would be in genitive singular form, so it would get the ending a. Similarly, if you want to say half a liter, you would say pola litra. Again, because this is a masculine noun, in genitive singular, it would have the ending a. And then after the numbers, as I mentioned previously in the video, after the number 1, we use always nominative case. After numbers 2 to 4, we use genitive singular. And after numbers 5 and above, we use genitive plural. Let me give you an example on the word, for example, čaša. Čaša is glass. So I can say popila sam 2 čaše vode. I drank 2 glasses of water. But if I want to say I drank 5 glasses of water, then I would say popila sam 5 čaša vode. I drank 5 glasses of water, and after number 5 I would use genitive plural 5 čaša. After number 2 I would use genitive singular 2 čaše. Čaša is a feminine noun, so in genitive singular it has the ending e. In genitive plural, feminine nouns have the ending a. Since we used genitive for expressions of quantity throughout this video, I'm going to provide a brief overview of genitive case for masculine, feminine, and neuter nouns in singular and plural. So let's start with masculine nouns first. In singular, the endings are og for adjectives and a for nouns. The ending a, if you remember, we already mentioned in this video. So for example, you can say pojela sam parče slatkog kolača. I ate a piece of a sweet cookie. Parče slatkog kolača. In plural, the endings are ih for adjective and a for nouns. Slatkih kolača. For example, pojela sam 5 slatkih kolača. I ate 5 sweet cookies. For feminine nouns, in singular, the endings are e for adjectives and e for nouns. Na primer, for example, pojela sam tanjir tople supe. I ate a plate of warm soup. Tanjir tople supe. Toplih supa, the ending for adjectives is ih, the ending for nouns is a, same as in plural for masculine nouns. So you can say pojela sam mnogo toplih supa. I ate a lot of warm soups. Pojela sam mnogo toplih supa. Neuter nouns, and I think I mentioned this before, is that they have the same ending as masculine nouns in genitive, both singular and plural. So this is something that you can remember. Masculine and neuter nouns have the same ending in genitive singular and plural. So jelo is a dish. This is a neuter noun, and in genitive singular we say ukusnog jela. Na primer, pojela sam tanjir ukusnog jela. I ate a plate of a tasty dish. Tanjir ukusnog jela. Ukusnih jela, the ending is ih for adjectives, a for nouns. You can say pojela sam mnogo ukusnih jela. Mnogo ukusnih jela, a lot of tasty dishes. So in which situations do we typically need these measurements or expressions of quantity when it comes to food and drinks? Well, one such situation is u prodavnici ili na pijaci, in a shop or at a market. For example, somebody can ask, može kilogram krompira? Can I have a kilo of potatoes? Kilogram krompira is 1 kilo of potatoes, and you see that krompir, potato, here is in genitive. Kilogram krompira. Još jedan primer, one more example of when we use these expressions of quantity when it comes to food and drinks is when we order food. So we can say poručivanje hrane, ordering food. An example for this would be naručio sam parče pice. I ordered a slice of pizza. Pizza is a feminine noun. It ends in a in nominative, but in genitive it ends in e. So parče pice, a slice of pizza. I za kraj još jedan primjer. And at the end, one more example of where we use measurements for food. So we use them in recipes. Recipes, the Serbian word for that is recepti. One recipe, recept. For example, u testo ide kašika ulja. A tablespoon of oil goes into the dough. Kašika ulja, a tablespoon of oil. Ulje is a neuter noun, so as you already know, in genitive it has the ending a. Kašika ulja is a tablespoon of oil. And now I'm going to demonstrate one very simple and very popular recipe for Turkish coffee, turska kafa. Evo kako ja pravim tursku kafu. Treba vam šoljica vode. Šoljicu vode sipate u džezvu i stavite na šporet. Kada voda provri, uzmete kafu i uzmete kašičicu kafe. Ovdje imam tursku kafu i sipam kašičicu kafe u vodu, sklonim džezvu sa ringle, sipam kafu i onda vratim džezvu na ringlu da još jednom kafa provri i ovako promešam. To je to. Recept za tursku kafu nije komplikovan i ja jako volim da je pijem svako jutro. If you like this video, let us know in the comments below. Also, subscribe to our channel for more videos. We will be posting content regularly. I'm also leaving the links below for our social media channels as well as our newsletter subscriptions. We are sending material for self-study over the newsletter twice a month. So if you want to practice and improve your Serbian and get exercises with the key that you can do on your own, subscribe to our newsletter. Hvala svima i čujemo se. Ćao!